So I'll just begin this by saying that I don't have a problem with expensive things in general. If something delivers outstanding performance at a high price, then I consider it to be a fair deal. But this product is just something that I have very polarizing feelings about. Today we are going to talk about Isoacoustics isolator speaker isolation stands, and the obvious question is whether they are worth their $140 or 10,000 rupees price tag or not. And there are some other concerns about how safe they are for your expensive monitors and if they work better than some foam isolation pads which you can get for very cheap. And we are going to discuss all of that in this video. So first of all, unboxing the product, you get these metal pipes in two different sizes, the top and bottom parts of the stand, and some plastic pieces which you can insert in the metal pipes to adjust their angle. Setting them up is pretty easy, as all you have to do is insert the shorter or the longer pipes in the stand's bottom piece, use the plastic pieces for adjusting the angle of your monitors if that is needed, put the top piece on it, and put your speaker on them. Now, if you don't understand the basics of speaker isolation, what basically happens is that if you keep the speaker directly on your desk, the desk is going to absorb some vibrations from your speakers, and since sound is created by vibrating things, the quality of sound will get affected because of this. So with speaker isolation devices, what they wish to achieve is to isolate the speaker from the desk so there is minimal transfer of energy, and that way the sound will come unaffected from your speakers. Now these stands are not the only way to achieve that. There are different types of isolation solutions available. Most popular is isolation foam, which doesn't cost a lot. Then there are these stands which also have different types. So these stands in particular are not very complicated, as you can see. They do look pretty good, but the materials are just plastic and rubber with these metal tubes. Now you might think that for 10,000 rupees you would get some very high quality rubber, but that is unfortunately not the case, as just in a few months the rubber rings on one of my stands has started to develop some cracks, which shouldn't happen, but it doesn't affect the functionality, so I don't mind it. By the way, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with bell icon so you don't miss out on future videos. So these isolate your speakers from the surface with this combination of rubber, metal and plastic, and I don't know if these materials are needed in this combination for maximum isolation, but Isoacoustics do claim that a lot of engineering has gone into these. They also claim that you shouldn't keep these stands sideways, as the design allows the speakers to vibrate in the front and back axis but not in the left and right axis. But personally I don't understand how that is the case, as these just have these circular slots that don't seem to be axis specific. But maybe there is something that I can't see. Proper placement is crucial to getting right sound from your speakers, so these allow you to set them on ear level, even on desks of different heights, and they also allow you to adjust the angle of your speakers, so if they aren't on your ear level, you can at least point the drivers to your ears. So all of this is really good, and it is actually not easy to achieve proper placement by other methods. One thing I was concerned about was that my speakers could fall from these if something bumps into them, but the rubber grips on both sides of these stands are really good, and they really don't let the stands or your speakers move easily. So that was very relieving to see. These come in different sizes, and they do have a tool on their website that would suggest the recommended size for your speaker model. So for my Adam T5Vs with 5-inch woofer, the 155cm Isolator 155 model is recommended, and for bigger speakers you will need the bigger models. Now coming to their actual performance, I would just start by saying that I really didn't want to spend 10,000 rupees on these if there was some other way, but I calculated how much time it will take to create something similar myself, which also looks as good, and just buying them seemed to be the more sensible option. And coming to the difference they make in sound, I have to say that they definitely make a 10,000 rupees worth of difference. In fact, it's so much that these are just a necessity that you should consider adding to your speaker budget. I am using these with my Adam T5Vs, which I have also reviewed, and these are really great speakers, and while they sound really amazing on these stands, if you keep them on these cheap foam pads to isolate, they lose their tightness in their sound, and the bass gets muddy, and I was really surprised by how much the mid and high frequencies also got affected. The soundstage really suffers without these, and the speakers just don't sound nearly as good and free as how they do on these stands. So if you were thinking that you could just use isolation foam pads instead of these with your studio monitors, that is not the case. They do make a very big difference compared to the foam pads. Even with my cheaper Mackie CR5 BTs, they made a big difference in sound. So these aren't just meant to be for more expensive speakers, but these cost as much as the entry-level bookshelf speakers, so you may just find using foam pads with them to be the only option. I have also read some articles on how these stands are BS, and after analyzing the sounds with a microphone, they say that they don't actually measure a difference in sound, so these actually don't make a difference. But with my personal experience and all the people on Amazon, I can really tell you that they do make a really big difference. Now, I am not saying that these have some advanced engineering that you won't be able to replicate. I think that if you make something like this yourself with wood or plastic, that should also work similarly well. So if you have the time and resources to do that, you could try it. So in conclusion, the top Amazon review on these has summed it up really well. They cost more than they should, but they also work better than they should. I do recommend these speaker stands very strongly, but I also think that they are very overpriced considering these are just metal tubes with plastic pieces. If they were half of their price, it would have been really great, but that is not the case. For their price, you could actually get some nice speakers like these Mackie CR4s or even these Swans for even cheaper. And the reason it concerns me even more is that they make such a big difference in sound that I'll have to buy more of these for every speaker pair I get. But those were my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think about these in the comment section below, and I'll also have links to buy these in the video description. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it or a thumbs down if you disliked it. Subscribe to the channel with bell icon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.